Hello and welcome to Protect Ukraine Now YouTube channel. My name is Alek Kasman and I lead this organization.
Hi everyone, I'm Oleg and I'm military analyst.
Today we're going to talk about one of the key advocacy points that are most appropriate at this time. Specifically, we're going to mention $6.2 billion in military assistance to Ukraine that are going to expire at the end of September unless action is taken.
Let me show why that is important. This is a protectukrainenow.org website, and as you can see, there's a graph for Ukraine Security Supplemental Appropriations Act 2024. So this is this so-called 61 billion for Ukraine. As you can see here, the Presidential Drawdown Authority was appropriated for 7.8 billion, 1.6 for foreign military financing, and 13.8 for Ukraine Security Assistance Initiative. USAI is for ordering new stuff, PDA is for the drawdown, which is a US stockpile, foreign military financing is for Ukraine to order what they need to order, and humanitarian and economic aid. Let's check out why 7.8 billion is so critical to spend to ship to Ukraine as soon as possible. This is HR 815, Emergency Supplemental Appropriations Aid for Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan. And this is the public law. Let's look at the text. The text says that during fiscal year 2024, this is section 302, the Foreign Assistance Act from 1961 shall be applied by substituting 7.8 billion for 100 million. By default, Foreign Assistance Act of 1961 has 100 million for the US President for drawdown authority, and this is substituting with 7.8 billion during the fiscal year. As you can see, it's only valid for the next 6 weeks. Let's look at how Presidential Drawdown Authority was distributed over time. On horizontal scale, we have the time. On vertical scale, we have money. The first year and a half, 2022 and first half of 2023, the average aid to Ukraine, the military aid, was 1.2, 1.3 billion monthly. Since July, the end of July 2023, it drastically was decreased to approximately 400 million monthly. Then there was a long pause. After the bill in April was appropriated, Ukraine received 1 billion worth of Presidential Drawdown Authority, 700 million, 200, 600, 100. So it's nowhere near what was in 2022 or 2023. Let's check how much money actually left. This is the 7.8 billion Presidential Drawdown Authority appropriated in April. As you can see, in the beginning of May, there was still quite a bit of money, and it was decreasing over time as those packages were sent to Ukraine. And with the current pace, we will have about 5.5 to 6 billion worth of Presidential Drawdown Authority. In the end of September, this money that is unused is going to expire. This is the actual packages that were shipped to Ukraine over the last 4 months. As you can see, the big orange bar represents 1 billion of Presidential Drawdown Authority package that was shipped not from the April appropriated supplemental aid, but from December 2022. Yes, we still have unused money in Presidential Drawdown Authority from December 2022. We have almost 3 billion in that money. And the blue ones are the packages that were shipped from the newly appropriated money from 2024.
So let's recap here. We have $6.2 billion from this year's appropriations, and this money is going to expire at the end of fiscal year, which is end of September.
In 6 weeks, right.
So this graph illustrates how slowly the aid is administered over the time. In fact, in 4 months, Ukraine has received about $1.6 billion from current appropriation and $1 billion from leftovers that were appropriated in the past, specifically year 2022.
That is correct, Alec. As you can see, the orange one represents the December 2022 package, and the blue ones, which total for 1.6 billion, is from 2024.
Yes. So as we mentioned in the beginning of this video, this is a high priority item. This is something we need to be talking to with our senators and representatives. It's very critical that the administration, specifically the Department of Defense, notifies the Congress that this money will be used. And furthermore, this is not sufficient. We not only need to notify the Congress so the money does not expire, we need to make sure the money is actually used. Ukraine needs weapons, and everything that is available to ship and is already paid for by the Congress should be delivered as soon as possible.
Let me show you another graph. So here we can see that in the beginning of April, we had 3.9 billion worth of those December 2022 appropriated money. And we still do have 2.9 billion, almost 3 billion. And we're not spending them because we're not spending even the money appropriated in 2024. So what's the reason for accumulating this unused authority if we never actually use it, if we use much less than appropriated? Let's give it to Ukraine instead.
Yeah, absolutely. Ukraine needs all the weapons it can get right now. So to sum it up, we're asking our listeners to call their senators and representatives and ask them to require the administration to use all PDA funds appropriated in this supplemental as soon as possible. Specifically, this money needs to be called for before the end of September and used as soon as logistics allows for this military aid to be delivered to Ukraine. And just for clarity, can you show where this information comes from?
This is the Comptroller Defense.gov. This is the budget execution of Presidential Drawdown Authority. It has all the packages that Ukraine received on Presidential Drawdown Authority. As you can see, these are the packages received since April 24. This is when 1 billion was shipped to Ukraine, 400, 275, and all the rest. So what's the best way to help Ukraine right now? We should be calling our Congress people, senators, representatives, and ask them to reach out to administration to send to Ukraine as much military aid as possible to use this Presidential Drawdown Authority before it expires.
I should add that right now, before elections, is the best time to make a difference. And this is really the period of time when our Congress people are really interested in your phone calls, and this is should be taken into account.
Looking at the situation with the military aid to Ukraine, I'm very dissatisfied seeing that 80% of the appropriated aid is not in Ukraine yet, and it's set to expire. I will make it clear to my representatives and senators that my vote in November will depend on how they handle this situation.
Lastly, for those who are not sure if this information is actually necessary to be mentioned to our members of the Congress, from personal experience, some Congress people do not know that in the past we have lost, Ukraine lost $1.6 billion of military assistance because that money was expired. Unfortunately, our Congress people cannot know everything. They're very busy people. They have a lot of things on their plate, and Ukraine is not the only thing, obviously, they are concerned about. So calling your representatives and mentioning critical issues for Ukraine is very important.
You can make a difference. There is at least 0.3% of Ukrainians in the US, there is way more, 50% of Americans or more want Ukraine to win this war. So it's in your hands to take your phone and make a call. Make a difference today. And thank you for standing with Ukraine.
As always, if you find this message important, please share it with your friends and family.